All right, Gary, with all these threats and these vulnerabilities, kind of in anything that uses the electricity, which is pretty much everything in today's
Everything.
environment,
Yeah, exactly.
what can be done to protect against these things? I mean, that's a huge issue.
Yeah, again, another great question, right? Protecting against EMI attacks is definitely a new area of concern for sure, especially as it relates to wireless. As I mentioned before, right, 80% of new devices are wirelessly connected these days. They're not wired, therefore wireless is the new network and new attack surface, etc. So minimizing the exposure state is crucial, especially in mission critical environments. So, in my opinion, in order to implement an effective defense in depth strategy to protect against EMI interference and attacks, customers should consider implementing a 24/7 monitoring system of their layer 0, 1, and 2 environment before an IP is ever assigned to any device.
Oh, wow.
So before any device is even plugged in, as I was mentioning before, the ability to measure what should be against what is key, and therefore you're automatically reducing that attack surface of EMI. So think about it, right? When any equipment comes into the environment, whether it be a router, a switch, a firewall, or a weapon, I'm thinking the DoD here,
Sure.
right? Everything comes with a motherboard these days. You should measure the EMI emission, the fingerprint, against a gold standard. That would be my recommendation. And of course, the goal here is very simple. It's to be able to identify any tampered hardware or counterfeit products before it's even plugged into the network. And there's been several cases already identified whereby foreign chips have been found on motherboards, which have led to exploitation. And there was a great article a few years ago in the Bloomberg called The Big Hack, which specifically addresses this concern. So it is happening. It is being infiltrated via supply chain, and hence the need, for this, ability to really understand what's going on with your equipment as they come into your environment. So we need to start monitoring our EMI fingerprints to stay safe within our environment. I would also recommend that customers think about an EMI intrusion detection system. Right, there's nothing wrong with introducing an early warning system to measure the risks and measure the unusual activities that are going on at layer 0. This is where EMI lives, and then of course a lot of the attacks that are layer 1, and being able to have a good understanding of those risks, so that you're just protecting yourself. And then, again, being able to detect these nefarious wireless activities, right? So as things move from layer 0 to layer 1, they typically go to industrial Ethernet, and these are protocols that are non-traditional TCP/IP. But basically, being able to detect for these nefarious wireless communications that could be coming off these motherboards is critical, right? Because again, IoT is now cellular. It could be Bluetooth, it could be industrial Wi-Fi, and it could be leveraging the broad spectrum of IoT frequencies. And what's really interesting is a lot of organizations really understand about four operating systems: Windows, Linux. They understand a little bit of iOS and Android, and anything beyond that, including cellular and broad spectrum IoT, is kind of foreign to them. They don't really understand the risks and threats. So being able to have a good understanding of that attack surface is pretty important. And by the way, there are other solutions on the market, such as EMI shielding, that can be used to encase sensitive electronic components if you're completely, paranoid. There's other best practices you can do, like proper grounding, which allows you to kind of obviously insulate, specific, electronic components and so forth. You can also, use signal filtering to reduce the noise and isolate that traffic and so forth. And these are all additional, physical elements that you can implement to secure the EMI threat landscape. This is not necessarily an area that LOCH gets involved in, but customers could consider these alternatives.
Sure.
And that's really, EMI and risks and threats in a nutshell.
Well, great stuff, Garry. Thank you so much. And for for people that want to find out more about this, find out the solutions that LOCH offers, and how they can be protected against EMI threats, as well as a host of other things, wireless threats. Where can they find out more?
Yeah, please visit us at www.loch.io. That's LOCH.io. Thank you very much.